Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, Christmas spiced tea from Paris. In this video, we're going to be sending you our festive cheer from Paris, and we're going to be giving you some little tips on how you can twist up your tea to make them a little bit more Christmassy. If at any point in time you enjoy this video, then make sure you hit it with a like, and if you're not following us on all of our socials yet, then go click those buttons. We are in beautiful Paris on a chilly December day. We're here to celebrate Christmas with Celine's family.
Yes, we're in a little bit of gloomy Paris day, but it's amazing with tea, pastries, just keep eating. It's great. And seeing family, oh cool.
The pastries are out in force. And for those of you who don't know, I am not somebody who eats carbs regularly. In fact, I don't eat carbs at all. So it is my holiday treat to dive into some of these beautiful pastries, and there are few better places in the world than Paris to have some of these beautiful pastries. Look at this croissant here. Oh, can't resist. Okay, so we're going to show you a few different ways to pair these with teas. First of all, Celine has made a
matcha latte. Basically, I did a matcha shot, and then I spice up my milk to make it a bit more Christmassy. You want that warmth, you want that vibe. I don't know if you can see the matcha latte, but if you do a shot of matcha and then you spice up your milk, you can spice it up with cinnamon, vanilla, nutmeg, whatever spices you like.
All the usual candidates for Christmas.
Pretty much.
So you put clove, cinnamon, vanilla, nutmeg in there.
Nutmeg, that's it. And then once the milk is heated, just pour it over your matcha shot, and that's it. It's ready.
Very, very simple. So all you're doing is infusing the spices in the milk as it heats so that it's got a nice Christmassy taste to it, and then use that for your matcha lattes. We don't have all the paraphernalia here, but that looks very, very French in a bowl, ready for dunking. Okay, so why don't you give it a taste?
Okay.
Obviously, you can sweeten this to taste if you would like with honey or sugar. Have you put any in there?
I put a teaspoon of sugar. I am a bit of a sweet tooth, but you're welcome to put honey or no sugar.
Oh yeah, but that's fine. That's really, really just enough, just to give it a little bit of sweetness to it. And we are going to pair it with. Should we dive into this one?
Yes.
So this is, say it in French. Pain aux amandes et chocolat.
No, it's croissant aux amandes. Croissant aux amandes et chocolat.
But don't they call it a pain if it's not a pure croissant?
Listen, guys, I haven't been in Paris for a long time, as in I haven't lived here for a long time. So the names and things, I might have to ask Alex, French guy, but I think it's
I'm going to go for it's a pain aux amandes au chocolat.
He's probably right.
But you can say
Let's go with that.
Anyway, whatever it is, it looks delightful. It looks delicious, and I'm super excited to get my teeth into it. But why don't we tear this open?
Yeah.
So this comes from a boulangerie right round the corner. We're staying in Le Marais at a beautiful, cozy Airbnb. Oh, that looks good. We have not tried this boulangerie yet. This boulangerie is called Maison Lendemain in Marais area. So we're going to rate it. We're going to be fair.
Let's see how it is.
Here you go. Take yours.
Thank you. Do you want to have a taste of
I want
my
to taste it first without.
Oh.
Here we go.
All right.
Pastry
cheers,
looks
guys.
good.
Cheers.
A lot of chocolate and almond in there. Filling is generous.
I love it when the filling is generous. It's so good. Sorry, go
Pastry is really nice and flaky. Only criticism is I prefer it to be a little bit warm, but that's our fault, not their fault, because it took a little time to set up. Right. Can I dunk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's actually really good.
It's very good.
Very, very good.
It's not too sweet either. I don't like pastries that are too sweet.
Check this out.
I wish the chocolate was actually darker chocolate.
Oh my God.
You know.
That works so well.
What, dunking?
Dunk that. Oh my gosh. Oh, highly recommend that. You can still taste the nutmeg in it and the cinnamon.
Oh my God,
and that works
so
well with the almond. Oh wow. But I want a hot tea. Of course, we brought with us the Gongfu story. so we can set up tea anywhere. Have tea, will Gongfu brew is the slogan that we use. So
Oh my god, that mix.
that mix is dangerously good. We've even got a little tea pit here. Look at that.
If you guys know how to bake, try it out.
And if you don't know how to bake,
Buy it.
then come to Paris. No, you can get good pastries all around the world these days. But Paris is the traditional heartland for it all, of course. Okay, so what I have here is some rogué. For those of you who don't know, rogué is a yencha, it's a Wuyi rock oolong. It's a more, I would say, slightly more on the less premium end of yenchas, although that is a very, very wild generalization.
Right.
But if you're getting a really good, say, Shuijin Gui or Tielohan or even a really good Chidan Dahong Pao, then they tend to be higher quality than rogué, although you can get some spectacular rogués, of which this is one of them.
It's true.
And so we're going to brew this up. Just simply brew it purely like that. Do you have the brew rider somewhere? There you go.
Ta-da!
Because I think that these roasted teas work super well with pastry. So we're going to brew it up pure first, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of a spice trick that I like to sometimes use when I'm feeling like I'm wanting to play around with my teas a little bit more. Do I have icing sugar all over my face?
Yeah, all over your face. Right there, right there, right there. No, I'm kidding. You're good.
So,
Oh, I love that smell though.
yeah, beautiful smell.
Rock oolongs on a winter's day, it's just an instant warmer.
It is.
It's like being next to a fireplace and you just get that coziness.
So, look at this. Sitting on a Paris cobbled street, drinking tea Gongfu style.
Yeah.
This is the life.
Is it?
Dipping. I know I'm
pretty
going to overbrew
sweet.
this. I'm going to overbrew. Can you?
Short holiday.
Can you pour it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because I'm more obsessed with dips.
Oh yeah, dip away, dip away. It's such a good mix, guys. Matcha latte, spiced matcha latte with almond chocolate croissant. Oh my gosh.
No, but that is too good. That's the kind of good that if that was at a restaurant or a cafe, if they did that as a standard, tip to everyone serving croissants, make that your standard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
All right, but let's try it with some rogué. So rogué, yencha.
Oh.
Rogué is translated as sort of cinnamon or cassia. So it has a slight cinnamony vibe, but
Yeah. Cheers.
oh, okay. I love that, but I really love that. The cleansing nature of the tea cuts through the butteriness of that pastry so well.
Oh, I'm feeling so relaxed now.
And the strength of that beautiful roasted tea taste just works really, really well. This is all you need. You don't need to spice up your tea, right? We give you a little bit of some kind of embellishments, a bit of flair, but you really don't need to. If you want to pair these kinds of buttery desserts, I would highly recommend pulling out a yencha,
Yeah.
a rock oolong. It has those fudgy notes, those vanilla notes. It has those
A little bit of caramel.
caramel notes,
Yeah.
but it also has a bit of red fruit in there.
Yes.
It's got a little bit of the red currants or things like that.
Exactly. That's why it's quite satisfying. It's considering how light the liquor is, it's actually very full of flavor, and that fruitiness kind of cuts all the caramelly, kind of almost coffee-like notes.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Oops. Really, really nice. All right, so let me have a little taste with the almond and chocolate pain.
Oh.
Yeah, works really, really well. But if you want to give it a little Christmas embellishment, cinnamon is your friend. It is called rogué, so it does have those sort of cinnamon notes, but you can really ramp it up. Now, what I would recommend you do is actually, oops, this hasn't been poured. Super strong. What I would recommend you do is don't brew the cinnamon with the tea, because you want to be able to have the option of drinking it pure, of course. All you need to do is use this as a little stirrer. So if okay, could you hold that for a second?
Okay. Sorry, I
Goodness.
didn't realize you had a cinnamon stick in your hand. I thought it was
Right, let me
like
see if I can do this. Okay, I'm going to put this down on the ground because
Oh, you're going to crack it? Why don't you crack it with your hand?
Because I'm not strong enough. Okay, so now what we can do is we have two. You can put that down. That's fine.
Okay.
We've got 2 cinnamon stirrers. Drop those in, and now you can flavor your tea as much or as little as you want. And it's amazing how much flavor you'll get out of some fresh cinnamon sticks like this. Give it a stir.
I can smell it so well already.
Oh, and it just adds, it accentuates the cinnamon note in the tea. So it's not actually contributing anything brand new to it.
No.
It's actually just accentuating that sweet cinnamon note to it, woodsy and sweet. That works really,
It's
really
like
well.
the mulled wine of tea.
And super simple, just take a yen cha and stir it with a little bit of cinnamon. I wouldn't use cinnamon powder or anything like that. Just keep it really, really simple. This way you can have it pure, have a little stir, you can play around, just a simple cinnamon stick stirrer. It is an instant way to just pep up the cinnamon note in the tea, and it works very, very well.
I like it.
Okay, so that is your cinnamon spiced yen cha and your nutmeg, cinnamon, clove, vanilla, Christmas spiced matcha latte. Now we are going to move on to the archetypal croissant. Look at this, and we have to judge this croissant. Okay. So we may not be Parisians, but we have an opinion. For me, a croissant needs to be a nice burnished color like that. It needs to be puffy like that, and flaky, but you want enough give on the inside, enough sogginess or enough kind of mulchiness on the inside that when you bite down, it kind of has that balance of texture between crispy, layered, and then a little bit more solid. I'm going to break this here. Let's do this.
Break it. That crackle.
Good crackle.
That's a good crackle.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you very much.
Now you've got to give me your Parisian score, or your score of this Maison Lendemain croissant. Again, could be warmer, not the fault of the bakery. So we've got to not take that into account.
Feels very layered, nice and fluffy. When you bite into it, it kind of becomes really thin, like light and airy.
This is what I like. You see here, when you bite, the layers kind of join together and stick. That's a good sign. And you've got that nice crispy exterior that's not going to go anywhere. Nice kind of layers from crispy, slightly dry, and then the middle gets all mulchy like that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I need your score out of 10.
I think this is a really good croissant.
Give me a score.
I don't think it's the best croissant I've ever had.
Okay.
I'm going to give it 7.8.
I would go higher than that, simply on the basis that I think we're being a bit unfair with the fact that it's cold.
I don't,
I know, but that's not their fault, that's our fault.
Okay.
I would say it's an 8.2.
Okay, we're not far off from each other.
Room for improvement, but very, very, very good croissant.
So I want to taste it with the tea.
Anything above a 7 would have been a very good croissant.
Okay, I like this combo. In a way, like not having all this almond and chocolate is better with the rogue way and the cinnamon, because you get to taste both of them at the same time. You get the butteriness of the croissant, and then you get that cinnamon spice, but that clean tea taste as well.
Yeah. There is a real purity about the croissant and the cinnamon. So a very, very good croissant. But for me, if you're going to do it properly, you need to be dunking that croissant into a bowl of coffee, right? That's the way to do it. Soaking up that coffee, the butteriness and the coffee works really, really well together.
That French thing.
Now, I am possibly going to be offending some people here.
Oh my gosh, what are you going to do?
Well, here we go. A lot of people ask me whether or not I drink coffee, okay? And I do drink coffee, not anywhere near, not even a fraction of the amount of tea that I drink, but I do drink coffee every now and again, and I do enjoy coffee. And I find it a little bit strange that in many ways there seems to be this artificial sort of battle between tea and coffee. We define ourselves by what we are not often, right?
Right.
And in the coffee world, in the specialty coffee world, they tend to define themselves by not being commodity coffee, right? Whereas in the tea world, many people there's an instinct towards defining yourself as not coffee, which I find really weird because we should just be doing the same thing.
Right.
True tea is not commodity tea, and that's the definition difference, right? We are not, mass-produced tea. We are not artificially scented tea. But why are we kind of defining ourselves as not coffee?
Yeah.
I think coffee is an incredible drink.
Yeah.
And I have some coffee here.
This is great coffee.
This is Buzira Gahindwa. Buzira Gahindwa from Workshop Coffees in London, representing the London Ting. Booyah, shout out to Workshop Coffees in London. I'll quickly scope this coffee for you. This is season. This was picked June 2017, arrived in the UK December 2017, and all importantly, the roast was just at the 29th of May 2018. So it's not fresh. The problem with me is I don't drink enough coffee, and so therefore it tends to sit in my cupboard for a bit too long. So I would like it ideally to be more fresh, but it's roasted in May 2018. Cultivar, this is the red bourbon cultivar. Origin, this is from the Kayanza Ngozi border in Burundi. And the picking and processing this is dry and wet fermentation, fully washed coffee and dried on raised beds under shade, and the elevation is 2,000 meters. Now, turn away if you are of a sensitive disposition and you don't want to see coffee and tea being mixed together, because that is what I'm about to do. My purpose here is to, can you put some of these leaves in the Gaiwan?
Of course.
My purpose here is to take the tea taste, just like with the cinnamon, and just add a coffee spice to it. I'm not trying to sort of make a mix of coffee and tea as in a sort of 50-50 mix blend. I'm still keeping tea the star of the show, but I just want to add a little bit of coffee note to it. As you know, if you drink yen chas, you'll know that there tends to be that roasted note to it, and you can get sort of coffee notes to the tea.
For sure.
I'm going to take some of these beans here, and I'm just going to crack them, just like the cinnamon. So you can see the beans here. As I said, anybody who's taking offense now, just
look away.
Just look away, or keep calm. It'll be over soon. So, same thing. I'm going to just crack these because we need to expose them, expose surface area. We're not grinding them, okay? So therefore, we're going to be using quite a lot because it's not powder.
I love this use of the thermos. Another way that you can use it is crushing the beans.
There you go. So here you go. Take a look, guys.
Oh, nice.
Here is some crushed Buzira Gahindwa coffee from Burundi, red bourbon cultivar. Now, we need to decide how much to put in.
Okay.
But I would say a good
straight in.
A good couple of teaspoons of the ground coffee, or the very bashed coffee. Okay, let's hit it with water.
Yeah. Do you want me to do a rinse on it or no rinse?
No rinse, let's just go for it. Could have rinsed it before, in fact, should have rinsed it before.
Do you have another gong dao, babe?
I do indeed. The joy of the story.
All right, no rinse. Let's do this.
You could have rinsed it, but I like to just...
It's all right. It's good tea.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So just brew it maybe a little bit longer than normal, just so that you can extract some more of those coffee notes in it.
Yeah.
Are you interested in coffee? Don't worry. Mayleaf is not going to turn into a coffee channel. I promise we're not going to start to sell coffee or anything like that. This is not some precursor to selling coffee. But I think it's really interesting that we learn the parallels between lots of different drinks, from whiskey and tea to chocolate and tea, even though it's not a drink, but you know, like food produce, in other words, and coffee and tea. I think it's really interesting to learn the similarities and differences. It helps to inform your tasting of both, I think.
The smell coming off this guy one when I lifted it was incredible. I mean, it's only gonna work together because it's a roasted rock Oolong.
So I don't do this regularly, of course, but every now and again for yen chas, you can see the color difference. Let's bring it closer.
It might be also that I brewed it longer, but I'm sure the coffee did something to it.
Yeah.
It's quite dark.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
okay. So let's pour this out
Okay.
and let's give it a taste. So
So
as I
this
said, I
is-
don't do this often at all, but every now and again I find that with yenchas you get this, it just suits a little bit of that coffee note to it. Now this coffee by itself has got real deep fudge notes to it, and it's got red cranberries, dried cherries, those notes in it. So that works, parallels very well with yencha with those fudgy and red fruit notes.
Cheers.
Oh, I tell you, I really tell you, please don't judge it before you try it.
Wow.
This is so nice because you get the acidity from the tea and the coffee mixing together to get a real bright, fresh red currant, dried cranberries, dried cherry notes to them,
Yeah.
and you get that deep fudgy note from the tea and from the coffee. And now we've got a more strong, slightly more
Wow.
deep tea, and I'm gonna dunk it directly in here, which is again sacrilege. But I just want to see.
Tea day.
Works so well. So if you want to really kind of, push the boat
Spice
out.
it up.
Not for everyone, I agree. I know I'm probably going to get lots of comments in the comments section saying, how could you combine coffee and tea? Well, I tell you, why not experiment? Try it yourself. If you don't like it, fair enough, you don't like it. But I actually think that given good quality coffee, preferably freshly roasted.
That's what I was thinking as well. Don't go for some cheap like crappy coffee.
No.
I think it does make a difference what coffee you're getting.
Oh, of course. So get something that matches the flavor profile. So red fruits and dark treacle and fudge notes. And, put a little bit or a lot, whatever you prefer. For me, that is a great combination. Really, really interesting. You know what? Might even work with a bit of cinnamon.
Ooh,
Why not?
mixing it up. It's so. I
It
love
does.
these
All of these
tastings.
flavor profile, all of these notes work well together, I think. So
Yeah.
there's almost no risk involved here.
Yeah.
Anyway, try it out. So try it with the croissant
Oh yeah, good idea.
and see what you think. I think it works super well. Oh, it really works well. Please don't get offended. It really works well. You're just adding the coffee, just a little bit of spice to it, in the same way as you might add some cloves, or you might add some cinnamon to your tea, or you might add a little bit of, nutmeg to your tea. It just works. And it's very, very Christmassy.
And you know what? If you're not much of a coffee person, but you kind of like the smell of coffee, you just don't like that quite strong taste, try this out. It's really nice. Works well.
But I would only try it with a roasted oolong to begin with. I have never found any other combination that works. Roasted oolongs really can carry a lot of spicing without too much trouble. Anyway, so those are your festive drinks. Very easy to do. A spiced milk matcha latte, a cinnamon Twizzler in your yencha, and controversially perhaps, get yourself some really high-grade, freshly roasted coffee. Knock a few beans, break them up, mix them with your leaves, see what you think. I think that it can work very, very well.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are going to enjoy the rest of our day in Paris. The end of the year is upon us, and we are obviously sending our holiday greetings and festive greetings to all of you. Please do let us know how you are celebrating the holidays and how you incorporated tea into your holiday celebrations. It's been a good year.
It's been a great year, yeah.
I picked my tea of the year a couple of weeks ago as Night Forest Muse.
Oh my God,
Do you want to give them your tea of the year?
It was really hard to decide. I've been thinking about it for quite a few weeks actually because...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of people have been asking me which one was my favorite. We had Jade Star, we had Snow Listener. I like these teas so much. But I think I'm going to go with Nectarada just because that sweetness always comes in my head and I always think about it at the moment. So I'm going to say Nectarada.
Plus, the journey that we went through to get it. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the description below.
Yeah.
Nectarada, Night Forest Muse, so both two puers.
Puer heads.
I guess that's not a major surprise to a lot of people out there. But those are our teas of the year. Let us know your teas of the year in the
Yeah.
comments section below. We'll be
Put it
reading
in.
over the holiday season, so sure, please do let us know how you've celebrated Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate
Yeah.
with tea and your teas of the year. So this is it. We're going to keep eating, keep drinking, then go walking into Paris and keep eating and keep drinking. Of course, it's the holidays after
gotta.
all. We're sending each and every one of you the most joyous festive period. Indulge a little bit, of course, reflect, be present, but most importantly, enjoy yourself and the people that you love. That's it, tea heads. If you made it to the end of this video, then make sure you hit it with a like. Follow us on all of our socials so you don't miss out on any news and videos from Mayleaf HQ. If you're ever in London, then come visit us in Camden to say hi and taste our wares. If you have any questions, comments, or video ideas, then please fire them over. Other than that, this is Celine.
See you guys.
I'm Don. We're sending our festive cheer from Paris. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the good stuff and spread the word because nobody deserves bad tea.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.